Greetings to all present here. I'm Dr. L. Santosh Kumar, Assistant Professor of English at Presidency College, Autonomous, Bengaluru, Karnataka, India. And today, let us have a glimpses on the writings of William Shakespeare pertaining to his sonnets and how he has mastered himself as a wonderful writer. Yeah. And to begin with this particular discourse or with particular lecture to talk about William Shakespeare, a day or a century is not enough. And most importantly, the term enigmatic. The term enigmatic is being strongly associated with William Shakespeare. And because his birth date and even his death date still now is not being made known to the world authentically. Even the autobiographers or the biographers. And when I say autobiographers, you can question me, how can there can be autobiographers? For Shakespeare, it is possible. And most importantly, another thing is that none of us would be able to know what kind of genius that this particular man is being vested upon. It is a belief. It is a belief, and as per some of the official church records, it is a belief that William Shakespeare was born in the year 1564 in Stratford upon Avonshire. And most importantly, he is called the Bard of Avon. And he has written 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and most importantly, two narrative poems. And why does this particular man is till now it is being celebrated? And most importantly, here I would like to bring upon Lord Macaulay's Minutes on Education. It was Lord Macaulay who said that I need a class of Indians who are English in blood, taste, and color. And second, most importantly, he said that I need people of India to learn English language for their financial upliftment and to learn William Shakespeare for their moral refinement. And this particular person, he himself was not aware that he is going to be a colonial figure or a political figure. And most importantly, his landscape is said to be something quite envisioning. And most importantly, almost all his landscapes are being penned through his own mindscapes. It is his own mindscapes are now determining the present landscapes. And most importantly, he just lived a very happy life, even though his lifespan was very short. He, as a writer, or he, as a dramatist, or he, as a poet, he firmly ensured that each and every viewpoints or each and every opinions which he expressed is something highly transcendental. And most importantly, we have got some set of university wits in literature. Those people are said to be Thomas Green, Kidd, Lilly, Lodge, Marlowe, Nash, and Peel. And William Shakespeare was not among those university wits. And very honestly speaking, none of the university syllabus or even the college syllabus can't skip William Shakespeare, whereas they can skip these university wits. There lies his genius. And most importantly, to talk about him, few important observations made by the scholarly people of his time and also people beyond his time was that Shakespeare is not of an age, but for all times. This particular line, it clearly sums up or it clearly indicates that this particular man is said to be a man who's supposed to be celebrated for generations after generations and centuries after centuries. That kind of patronage he holds it. And most importantly, when we talk about the element called sonnet, what does it comprises of? A sonnet is said to be a 14-line poem, and the first 8 lines of a sonnet is said to be octave, and the second 6 line of a sonnet is said to be sestet. And almost all the Shakespearean sonnets are being written in iambic pentameter. And the iambic form of iambic pentameter form is that three quatrains plus one couplet which follow this particular structure: A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, and G G G G. This lies the this is one of the famous structure of Shakespearean sonnets. And most importantly, the year in which Shakespeare's sonnet was published was 1609, And most importantly, he has written totally 154 sonnets. Out of 154 sonnets, Shakespeare firmly ensured that sonnets number 1 to 127 he wrote for his patron, Earl of Southampton. And the remaining sonnets, remaining 27, he wrote for his Lady Love, and his Lady Love name is being unknown to the world still now. Some assume it's Anne Hathaway, and Shakespeare, he himself calls her not an Ate, but he himself calls his lady love as the Dark Lady. And as I said in the beginning, he is an enigmatic personality where his ideas or where his personalities will be unknown to the world. And most importantly, the idea behind Shakespearean sonnet is that they tend to eradicate or they tend to showcase what kind of truths he is trying to convey to the world. And most importantly, there, almost all the 154 sonnets are said to be notable sonnets, where out of which few of the academicians they have considered these three sonnets are said to be something superior. One is Sonnet 18, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And next one is Sonnet 116, and the first line of it, Let me not marriage of true minds admit impediments. And sonnet number 130, My mistress' eyes are nothing but the sun. If when we look at these three sonnets, especially Sonnet 18, he has dedicated a sonnet to his friend, who is none other than his patron, Earl of Southampton. And he tries to compare the season with his friend's beauty. And also at the same time, he also tries to ensure that Shakespearean beauty is something highly realistic and most importantly, it's highly imaginary. None of the beauties of Shakespeare can be matched with or mapped with any of the writers. And most importantly, in almost all the sonnets of William Shakespeare, he tries to addresses some sort of history behind it. And that history can be about a race, it can be about a gender, and it can also be about some sort of muted representations. Those representations are not being made known to us. And what do they convey to us? Or what do they insist or emphasize us is that they always try to blur these marginalities. When all these marginalities are being questioned, or when all these marginalities are being retrospected, when all these marginalities are being too skeptical, Shakespeare, he never bothers about it. His only vision or his only vision was to envision the readers. There lies his beauty. And most importantly, his legacy, it runs to so many. He was influenced by great generation of poets. And most importantly, people here would disagree by saying that whether whether Shakespeare was influenced by the people or did he influenced or did he get influenced by any of the people? The question again here is enigmatic. And most importantly, his legacy or his idea behind describing people is something quite and he always plays pun with the words. And most importantly, the people in academic circle they call him as an iconoclast. And the meaning of the term iconoclast is that man who doesn't follow any sort of rules and regulations. And most importantly, he tends to emphasize or he tends to understand that uh, that three unities, unity of time, place, and action, should be violated. And he was the first one to emphasize it in his play. And most importantly, even in his sonnets, he also emphasized that. And most importantly, even his contemporary Christopher Marlowe has used some of the ideas of William Shakespeare. For example, the idea of Shylock can be found in Christopher Marlowe's play, The Jew of Malta, through a particular character called Barabbas. So, he, by default, he has become a political, academical, and a colonial tool. And when we talk about each and every theoretical discourses in English literature, for each and every theoretical discourses, there would be William Shakespeare. And in the contemporary times, people they talk about the impact of health humanities. The idea of health humanities can be found even in the plays of William Shakespeare. To be more specific, one of the famous play is William Shakespeare's Hamlet when he undergoes heart trauma, where he utters a line, Heaven or hell, thinking makes it so. And second most important thing, that the trust which Ophelia had towards Hamlet when that particular trust is being broken, how she takes up that particular decision. That can be analyzed from a women's psychic perspective. And also the play King Lear taught father's love towards daughter and how that becomes a debatable one at the fag end of the play, or how that determines the closing scene of the play. So, and even when we talk about the element of subaltern, there's no there's no other better example for subaltern than Shylock in the world. And even when you talk from feminist perspective, Taming of the Shrew is one of the best example for that particular play. And also, when we talk about digital humanities, it's quite easy for us to talk about digital humanities or magical realism. William Shakespeare's play Winter's Tale can be brought into West can be brought into frame of reference. And most importantly, when we talk about the history of health humanities, it had its origin Greek in the late 4th and 5th century BCs, and the students of medical domain, they are quite good in dealing with patients, but they are not quite good in dealing with patients' emotions. In order to understand that, the plays of William Shakespeare were being taught to them. So there lies the masterful genius. And most importantly, Shakespeare, he always believed that the beauty which the outer world sees is not the real beauty, the beauty which what the he himself sees as a creator, that particular beauty will have an everlasting a charm in it. That's it. And as I said, to talk about this particular moment, a century is not enough. Thank you so much. See you soon.